contributions that we had so far received from the non-state actors are of quite diverse nature. First of all, there is a lot of views that is being sent in the form of submissions, in the form of communications, responding to the three guiding questions of the Talanoa Dialogue that the Secretariat has received. And quite recently, we saw the first report summary of all those information. I think it's also quite important to remind that Talanoa Dialogue is not part of the negotiating process. Talanoa Dialogue is about listening to each other, getting inspiration from what the others were doing, what they did well, where they failed. That's also very valuable information. And this is about doing together much more that each of us could do individually. That's also very commonly recognized truth about cooperation and common action. What's really important is to underline what the cities are doing. The cities are now in the kind of a forefront of resisting to the impacts. Building the resilience, building the resilient infrastructure becomes one of the first priorities. Why? Not only because it is important to protect people's lives, property, the livelihoods, but it is also important to build the foundation for future development. Cities are very important. Cities have also very good potential to organize society, to implement the solutions that are not necessarily related with investments, but usually related to organization of life, promotion of certain lifestyles. Then we immediately go into the role that civil society may play as the kind of conveyor of this kind of information, how to live sustainable life. Also try to establish and develop trust between the governments and non-governmental. This trust is necessary if the cooperation is to be enhanced and if the cooperation is to deliver what would be mutually useful for the governments in conveying their messages and for the non-party stakeholders in collaborating with governments as the voice of civil society. This mutual trust is equally important in the negotiations and in the relations between non-governmental and governmental. I think we are the world which starts realizing that the challenges are not theoretical but quite real. These are the challenges that impact very many in all parts of the world, and there is nobody that can say that has been never impacted by extreme weather, by some slow onset events. So this is the trouble, this is the problem, this is the challenge that everybody, literally everybody, has to take into account and has to address. This is also the world that has more and more accurate scientific information and has also more and more precise modeling tools, analytical tools that help people to see possible scenarios of action, how these scenarios would not only impact the way they develop, but how these scenarios would strike back in case this is not going to be successful. And we are in the world that also has quite a significant toolbox of various technologies that are available, that could be implemented, which we know already to the extent sufficient to use them as very good and efficient tool that could help us to manage resources in a responsible way, to use energy in a most efficient way, and also to change our lifestyle. This is another final point that I wanted to make. We have extremely good network of communication. Social media, newspapers, all kind of information flows that do not leave anybody outside of this stream. We can use this information in a way that is useful, and we can use this information to help ourselves, to lower the threats and to increase our positive impact. I think it's a very simple message. Don't wait for anything, just act. You can do it.